Good evening, everybody. You're all very welcome. Good evening, everybody, and you're all very welcome to our pre-arrival information session this evening on our junior programs. I'm just going to give it a couple of minutes because we have quite a few people joining us this evening, and I just want to make sure that everybody has an opportunity to join before we get started. We are recording the webinar this evening, so I know we have a lot of parents and students joining us, but we also have some of our partners, and maybe if some of their colleagues are not able to be with us this evening, we can share the link to this webinar with them tomorrow, no problem. So I'm just going to give it a few moments. So, like I said, as many people as possible can join. You're all very welcome. Good evening. Lovely evening here in Dublin this evening. Good evening, everybody. You're all very welcome. We have a lot of people arriving, so I'm just going to leave it a few more moments to allow everybody an opportunity to join. Just to say, I mentioned it a few moments ago, we are recording the webinar, so we will have that available in the morning for anybody who would like the recording, for a colleague or maybe some students or parents who couldn't be with us this evening. It is difficult dealing with so many time zones to find a time that is suitable and convenient for everybody. Okay, we might get started. A great big Irish welcome to everybody. Thank you for joining us this evening. I know it's late in the day and maybe earlier for some than others, or later for some than others. Thank you for joining us. Like in the last few years, we found this a very useful exercise. I know many students and parents are joining us this evening, and also some of our partners. My name is Scarlett. I oversee a number of our summer centres during the summer months. I have been working in Emerald for almost 18 years, so a lot of experience of different summers and year-round programs as well in Emerald. So, and I am here to give you what is this evening an information session on our junior programs. So we want to focus on more practical issues. We want to focus on informing you as a student or as a parent or one of our partners on what you need to know before you arrive to Dublin in a few weeks' time on one of our summer programs. I am joined this evening, I'm delighted to say, by Mark Mullally, our junior program manager. So no doubt some of you will have already encountered Mark or will continue to encounter Mark over the next few weeks. We're very much present during the summer and involved, as many of you know, in running the summer programs. And we're delighted to have the opportunity we were just talking about it beforehand, to have the opportunity to deliver such practical information in such a concise way at a time that is convenient for a lot of people. And like I said, we can record to deliver the information as well in advance. So to put some people's minds at risk, at rest, maybe some parents and some students as well. There's nothing to worry about. You're going to come and have a wonderful time here in Dublin. And just to say, I'm sure lots of you have questions or queries. I would ask that we're going to do a short presentation now on some of the practical information we're talking about. And if you could enter any questions you have in either the Q&A box or the chat box, myself and Mark will endeavour to answer as many of your questions as possible after our short presentation, okay? And it really is an opportunity for you to ask anything you may think it's silly or maybe not important, but if there is something you're concerned about or something you want to ask about, please do feel free to ask us. For the purposes of this presentation today, for our partners who will be familiar with many of our programs in Ireland and the UK, for the purposes of this webinar, we are focusing on our junior programs. So our multi-activity program here in Dublin, our intensive program for junior students, and our STEM program for junior students. So questions related to those programs. We will have an additional webinar on our young adult program specifically next Monday evening. So this evening it is for our junior programs only. Um, we might start, like I mentioned, we have a short presentation which I hope will give everybody a little bit of an insight into our programs, and some information, pre-arrival information. Um, Also conscious that I will try to speak as slowly as possible. But if there's anything you don't understand, you can always ask at the end. Don't worry. Okay. So the Emerald Cultural Institute, we're a language school, obviously, located in Dublin. Now, what to do pre-arrival? Um, this is just a tick box exercise for everyone, just to make sure that you, as a parent or a student, that the consent form has been completed with the medical information, any medical information that we might need, or dietary information. Also, if there's any allergies that you need to let us know about, please let us know about all of these in advance. Also, your flight details so that we can issue your transfer confirmations as well. So you should all have a transfer confirmation when you arrive for before you leave, okay? So that you know exactly we have the details of your confirmation and you have the details of your transfer as well, okay? For medical and travel insurance, that also needs to be arranged, okay? So that is up to students before you leave your own country that you have arranged that as well, okay? We can help you with that, but very often our junior students arrange it through their parents before they come. Okay. European Union students should also carry their European health card with them. Every summer, we have a lot of students who forget this card. It just makes everything a little bit easier. Ireland is, of course, a member of the European Union. Okay. So it's not like the UK, it is a member of the European Union. So please do bring your health card. On your arrival at Dublin Airport, you will be met by our transfer manager, and he will assist you in finding your Emerald specific transfer, and you will be brought either to your host family, and the driver will have all of your details of your host family, or to your residence. So either to Trinity Halls of Residence or to Alexandra College Residence. But the driver will know where you are going. He will have all details of both you and your flight before you arrive. So please do not worry about that. So on your first day, host family, if it's slightly different for host family and for residential students. So if a student is staying with a host family, the host family will bring you to your school on the first morning. If you're staying in a residence, obviously everything is happening on site, or you're attending lessons in a school very close by. In that case, you are always accompanied by Emerald staff who wear green t-shirts. Okay, but for host family students, the host family student will bring you on your first morning to the school. And if, for example, they may have to work on the Monday morning or they're not available, they will show you how to get to school on the Sunday. But most host families always bring students to school on the very first Monday morning. Okay? When you arrive in the school, you will meet us, maybe myself or Mark, and we will arrange for you to do your level test. So this is the first thing that all of our junior students do. So they do a written level test and a speaking test, okay? And then our teachers go correct the tests, and then you have a little break and you're placed in a class then according to your level. After you finish that test, you have a little break, and after that, there is an orientation. So, with your centre manager, so the person who is in charge of that school, and they give the orientation about the programme, how it works, what your activities are for that week, all of the information that you need to know, and the practical information as well. They also give you your student ID card, which is an Emerald student ID card. Okay, and you keep that with you at all times. They will also give you your transport pass because all of our students receive a transport pass. I issue a word of caution here. Please do not lose your transport pass because one transport pass, which is expensive, is included in your program. So you are paying for that. Okay. But if you lose that, you will have to pay to replace it. So it's very important to look after these. Okay. This will all be explained again on the first morning, but it's a good idea to get this information in advance. What to bring? You would be surprised how many students arrive for an English language program of lessons without note paper or a pen. So please, can I ask you to bring a note paper or notebook and a pen, please? I mentioned already about comprehensive medical and travel insurance. Please make sure you are covered. Every year we have lots of different situations, some very minor, most of them very minor, in fact, that have where insurance needs to be used, or we at least need to have some information. So please do make sure this is organised in advance. In Ireland, we use the euro. Okay, so euro is the currency. Um, like it says here, it's not advisable to carry large sums of money. Pocket money, of course. Revolut more and more has become convenient and very safe for students. Students staying in residence, they will have to pay a €70 refundable damage deposit, which will be returned to them at the end of their course if there's no damage, which 99% of the time there isn't. But that is something that you would need the money for if you are staying in residence, €70 damage deposit, okay, which is returned at the end of the course. Clothing. So Ireland, very important point here. Ireland is a variable but temperate climate. So we don't have extremes, but the summer is not like a summer in Istanbul or Rio de Janeiro or Madrid. So it can be cool. Okay, you need a jumper. You definitely need some form of a raincoat or waterproof coat with a hood. We don't tend to use umbrellas here because there generally tends to be wind as well. Okay. So what to bring? So dictionary, usually these days, that consists of a phone app, clothes, as mentioned. You will need a warm sweater or a couple of warm sweaters and warm trousers. Hoodie, waterproof clothing, coat. Runners are good shoes. It's a very active program. All of our programs are located very close to downtown Dublin, so it means they're quite busy program. The activity program is very much a Discover Dublin program, so important that you would have very comfortable shoes with you. We also play quite a lot of sport and introduce you to Gaelic sports. So yeah, a good pair of runners. Small rucksack maybe for your day trip at the weekend or any trips out in the evening time, sun cream, then the usual toiletries, hair dryer, adapter for Irish sockets. So Ireland is like the UK, so it's 3 pin, it's not 2 pin like in mainland Europe. Okay, so just to bear in mind that the plugs are slightly different here. Maybe a spare set of towels. You are provided in host family and also in residence with towels, but a lot of students like to bring a towel of their own. We are asking all students this year to bring their own water bottle that they can refill because obviously we're all trying to save the planet and save on plastic. And there are water fountains in each of our summer centres. So I think it's a good idea to pack a water bottle. And then just in terms of medications, we will need to be informed, please, if any students have certain medications with them. It would be important for us to have that information as well in advance is preferable. So technology, internet and mobile phones. So I mean, most mobile phones, there's absolutely no issue, but if required and SIM card, we can arrange SIM cards. We can organize that for you. If there is any issue with SIM cards, we can organize on our orientation, city centre orientation on the first day to pass by a store where we can sort that out for you with our guide. Wi-Fi is available in both residence and homestay accommodation. Okay. So transport cards, as mentioned, all of our junior students receive their own travel pass. Okay, so it's different system depending on the age of the student, but we organise all of that in advance. We have all the ages, we have the cards divided up amongst the students. So just to bear that in mind it's not something we do with non-summer students, but for all of our junior summer students, they all receive a travel pass. We'll show you how to use them as well. It's part of the orientation on the first day. Like a lot of the main mode of transport our students use is the Lewis or the light rail system in Dublin, which is very convenient and very efficient and very regular. And it's the tap on, tap off system of the card. Okay, but we explain all of that on the first day. So, what is expected? We do expect all students to be respectful, to integrate, to speak English, to say please and thank you, to treat other students with respect, to avoid any difficult situations with other students. It is a great opportunity that these students have, especially in this crazy world we're living in, to get to know each other, for young people to get to know each other and to integrate. And we're delighted to play a part in that. Um, Please don't look at this as a specific program. This is simply to give an idea of the format of the program. All of our programs are very busy programs. They're a combination, our junior programs are a combination of cultural visits and excursions, fun in school activities like drama or teaching students Irish dancing or Zumba or hip hop or visits at the weekend, so full day excursions on either the Saturday or the Sunday. And then the evening activities could consist of a magician show, a trip to Dunleary, which is a fishing village on the outskirts of Dublin, Emerald Olympics in the school, where all the students are divided into teams. So it's a very busy program. Okay, for students attending lessons in Alexandra College, they will have their lessons either in the morning or in the afternoon, and then the following week it will be the reverse. For students attending lessons in Sandford Park, so most students attending lessons in Sandford Park may be staying with host family, although some students doing an intensive course are also attending lessons in Sandford Park and staying in Trinity Halls of Residence. But in Sandford Park, the majority of the lessons are held in the morning time only, except for intensive students who have an extra additional 6 hours per week of English lessons in a small mini group. And those lessons are held 3 afternoons, usually Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, for 2 hour sessions. Okay, but this will all be explained when the students arrive. We will issue you with this document when you arrive that you're looking at with the exact program. Students will know exactly what they're doing and it will be explained to them. For students who are travelling in a group, their group leader or teacher and our partner agencies will have shared all this information with you in advance. So, staying in a host family. So the host family will show you a room, which you'll be sharing, usually with another student, but you may not. You may have a single room. You will more than likely in the summertime be sharing the house with a student of a different mother tongue if you're traveling on your own, or you may be sharing with, if you travel as a group, another member of your group. You will be given towels. The host family provides breakfast and dinner at home and a packed lunch for you to have in school. Okay, and then the weekend for excursions as well, you will also have a packed lunch. Okay, for your day trip. You can ask your host family to do laundry. Usually you agree, maybe one day a week, but usually it can be quite ad hoc. The family will help you whenever you need to do laundry. Okay. Um, so if you're a host family students, you're not permitted to take public transport after dinner without supervision. It may be that we bring students to Dundrum Town Centre to do crazy golf or whatever it may be. Anything that's organised in school, we will be with the students and we will supervise them. But junior students on their own, are not permitted to take public transport after dinner. Students under 18, unfortunately, cannot be given a key to the house either, to the home. So students 16 and 17, they must be home by 11, okay, at the latest. So a letter of permission must be given to each host family for every excursion. So the centre manager will issue you, the student, with a letter that you need to give to your host family for any evening activities to inform the family what time you need to be there and what time you will be home. For weekend trips, to let the family know what time you need to be at the school at on Saturday or Sunday morning. And for anything else outside the regular schedule, the family need to be given a letter as well. But you will be informed of this as well on your first day in the school, and the centre manager will make sure that you get that letter. Students may not stay in the host family during the day. Obviously, unless a student is ill or sick, then that's not an issue. But a student has to come to school every day. There's not an option to just, I might stay in bed today. Okay, you are staying, you're coming, you're very lucky to be doing a program. So you are expected to come to school each day. And the family will be in touch with us and we will notice from, if from our class lists, we always check after 15 minutes just to make sure everybody has arrived or if there's any issue. Obviously, if a student is sick, it's a very different situation and we can manage that. So, staying in residence. So, if just a few things, if you forget your key or your fob for your room in residence, don't worry, don't panic. Just ask a member of our staff. We're also going to be staying in the residence. Your room will be cleaned once a week in the residence and your sheets and towels changed. Rooms in Trinity Hall are either single or twin rooms. In Alexandra College, they are four bedrooms. Okay, so it's a different setup. All your meals will be in the school canteen. Okay, so if you're staying in Trinity Hall, you will have breakfast and dinner in Trinity Hall, and you will have lunch during the day in Alexandra College where you're doing your lessons. Okay, and in Alexandra College, if you're staying in the residence there, you will have all your meals there. So our residences, they both have laundry facilities. So our staff on campus will explain to you all about that when you arrive. So again, you're not allowed to leave the residential campus without permission. Students are required to attend evening activities, afternoon activities. If there's an issue, students are feeling ill, they can speak to the residence manager or to the centre manager in the school. The residence locked at 10:30 each night, so you must be inside the residence by this time. And bedtime is 11 and lights out are at 11:30. And our resident supervisors and duty managers check every single room and every single bed as part of what we do to make sure everybody is where they're supposed to be. And I already mentioned the damage deposit in the residence. So just a reminder to be polite, respectful to your host family, to staff. Don't be afraid to ask any questions. That's the most important thing. If there's anything you're unsure of, please do come and ask us. Um, just a few do's and don'ts that might help guide you a little bit. So carry your Emerald student ID card with you. In Ireland, you do not need to carry, I know in some countries you need to carry your official identification or your passport or your official ID card. You do not need to do that in Ireland. So we recommend that students actually bring their Emerald ID card with them because the Emerald ID card contains details of your host family, so the details if anything were to happen to you, or the details, the address of your residence, and details and contact details for the school as well. So whoever, if something were to happen to you, that they would have full details of who to contact and they would get in touch with us. Stay with your group at all times when you're on excursions. Look right before crossing the road in Ireland. So in Ireland, cars travel on the left side, so slightly different as well. We're like the UK. Give the host family a letter from the school. I've already explained that about your evenings or weekend excursions. And just to be respectful of your host family or the residents and staff in general. Please do not carry large sums of money. We've already said this. There is no ATM actually on our campuses, but we will be out and about with you, so we can arrange for you to go to an ATM during the daytime. I mentioned you don't need to carry your passport, no out on your own in the evenings. You're not allowed to use your smartphones in class. Many of our teachers will actually ask now that you place your phone on the first desk inside the door of the classroom for the duration of the class, and then you collect it again on the way out. Okay, so cigarettes, alcohol, no, and it's illegal for anyone under 18 anyway in Ireland. And there would obviously be serious consequences if you were found to be drinking alcohol. And just to be very careful and cautious. And you will all, as a junior student, you will always be accompanied by Emerald staff. So these are just a few of the areas that we have to cover. So any student taking drugs or any other illegal substances, they will immediately be expelled and subsequently sent home. All residents must leave the premises if an alarm sounds. That's important, especially in the residential settings. And we do drills during the summer as well, so it's very important. Tampering with fire extinguishers or smoke detectors or setting off fire alarms will cause severe disciplinary action. They are facilities, so our schools and the host families are strictly no smoking areas. Students should be aware bullying, intimidation, harassment, or sexual harassment are unacceptable and will be considered a serious breach of conduct. Shoplifting is not tolerated, and you would be surprised about how often we come across this. It is not tolerated, and it does result in arrest. Okay. And there are details. I'm actually going to stop sharing now because I was going to put my email address because I'm conscious that maybe many of you don't have my details, and I was going to put my email address here in case anybody wanted to contact me afterwards with specific questions or anything in particular that you were not sure about. I'm not sure if I answered some or all of your questions. Hallo, ich spreche Deutsch. Hi, Michaela. Das ist aber gar kein Problem. Ja, es tut mir leid, dass ich das alle auf Englisch gemacht habe, aber wir können ich kann das eigentlich schicken oder wir können wahrscheinlich per Telefon sprechen, so dass ich das alle so ein bisschen besser erklären könnte. Okay, es tut mir leid. Okay, does anybody else have any questions? Is there anything that you're unsure about or that you would like myself or Mark? Mark so looks after all of the summer centres as well, the activities, um, both our groups and our individual students. Is there anything in particular you would like us to answer? Please pop it in the Q&A or in the chat box, whichever is most convenient. Oh yeah, the emergency number again. Yeah. I can put our emergency number in the chat box as well. One moment. Um, Pep, no, they're not allowed to take public transport alone, usually in the evening, unless there was exceptional circumstance or unless the parents there was a particular if there's an activity, yeah, that's fine, Pep. If there's an activity, that's fine. They have to take public transport. That's not an issue. But just, I mean, and maybe they take it, around Leopardstown if they're staying Glencairn, Leopardstown, and some of their friends are at the next Lewis stop and staying in that neighborhood. A lot of our host families are around the same neighborhood. Yeah, in that case, fine. Um, ja, das ist aber kein Problem, Michele. So, Jennifer, if, for example, there's a teacher or group leader with the group of students, when they're in class, the teachers or group leaders do not need to be there. So, depending on when the students have class. So, if it's in the morning, it could be in the afternoon. But yeah, we're very close to the city centre, so the teachers or group leaders can go off to Dundrum or to the city centre while their students are in class. No, Lucas. So the transport pass is included. So there's enough credit on that pass to last you for the duration of your stay. Anything extra that needs to go on to that, you do add yourself, but it should cover the duration of your stay. This specifically is, we do offer UK programs I mentioned at the start, but this webinar today is to cover our Dublin junior program only, so not the Rose Bruford program in the UK. But if you need to get in touch, I'm putting my email address in here and I can talk to you about that separately if you like, Cecile. For students staying in Trinity residence, how far is it for them to get? It's a 5-minute walk from Trinity Hall residence to Alexandra College. So they go out, if you look it up on Google Maps, it gives you the wrong information. We have been using this combination of Trinity Hall and Alexandra College for many years. There is a side gate to Trinity Hall, which allows students to go directly onto Temple Road and straight down Temple Road. It's about 5 to 7 minutes to Alexandra College, so it's not far. No, there's no public transport involved in getting from Trinity Residence to Alexandra College. There's no public transport involved. I'm going to put the emergency number in here actually. Sorry, I was in the middle of. This is for Dublin emergency number, yeah? That's the Dublin emergency number for us during the summertime in case there's any issues. It's in the chat box with my email address. For specific students who are traveling individually, we're finalizing the programs at the moment, Camilla. So we will have that program by the end of next week, usually, but all students will be given the program when they arrive anyway. Jennifer, I'm not sure what you're asking about the leaving time on Sunday the 27th. Do you want to maybe clarify that? I have a quick question. My son has asthma problems, carries inhaler. Could he by any chance carry them with him? Yes, of course. He will need to bring it with him at all times, Adriana. We have actually quite a lot of asthmatic students. Yeah. Yes, so he needs to bring them with him at all times. Of course, I can share the presentation. So with you, Monica, I have all your details from registering for this webinar. So if you need it, I can share the presentation with you, no problem. Sorry, I probably did go through the slides pretty quickly. The mix of nationalities in Alexandra College is where varied and wide, everything from Portuguese, Turkish, Italian, Spanish, Taiwanese, Chinese, Korean, Czech, Polish. So it's a wide Mexican mix of nationalities. Yeah, I've just put, can everybody see the emergency number? Mark, can you see that? Yeah.
And yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And it's also, I think, on the last slide of the actual presentation as well. As an
Okay.
number, yeah.
Okay. So, yeah, so the junior program is for 11 to 17-year-olds. So you will be divided for activities and for your lessons according to age and level as well. Okay, Carla? Mm. Yeah, I can send you the presentation, Kiara. No problem. Briefly explain what kind of sport activities the participants will have as part of the program. Is there basketball involved? We have many different sports activities, everything from volleyball to Gaelic sports to soccer or football. Basketball, we have a basketball hall, access to a basketball hall as well. So it's varied, all the different sports. There's lots of sports included in the program. Okay, we even have some tennis courts as well, so that's also possible. Yes, of course, you can visit the students during the course. Just pop in or get in touch with us and let us know that you'll be visiting. So Jennifer, you're saying your flight is at 5 p.m. Yeah, so we would obviously need the rooms maybe to be vacated earlier in the day, but everything can be left there and you can go off and do an activity during the day maybe, or go to the city centre or Phoenix Park or whatever you want to do, maybe to Dundrum for the day. And then you can come back to the centre, Jennifer, and we organise your transfer for your students to the airport at a later stage and they can come back and collect their bag and maybe have their lunch in the center or collect their packed lunch or whatever it might be. Okay. No, that's what we avoid, Marty. Yeah, we avoid we wouldn't be placing two students of the same nationality in the same room for individual students. Yeah, rooms for people who travel individually. Yes, the students are placed with a student of a different mother tongue. So all our staff members at the Dublin Airport will have a big emerald sign, okay, with the student's name on it or with the teacher's name on it or whatever it might be. They will be very clear. We'll have staff with green t-shirts, green emerald t-shirts as well with staff written on the back. So we will be very clear and obvious. Yeah, some people are confused about the date. So most people are arriving on a Sunday and leaving on a Sunday. Some people will arrive on Saturday and leave on Saturday. Some people will arrive on Sunday and leave on Saturday. So you all know your respective flight times. That was just one group who was asking because they're leaving on a particular day that isn't the normal day usually for departures. Yes, there's Irish dancing. So both there's Irish dancing lessons and then there's an Irish dancing show. But also there's Zumba, there's hip hop, there's different, types of dancing. And we organize a disco once a week for all students. So there's lots of dancing involved in the program. So the junior program is from 11 to 17 years of age for your typical junior program. Yeah, Laura, I can send you the presentation, no problem. It's 11 on our own. Yeah. So if you get in touch with us, we will give you the details of who will be collecting, and we will have her specific details as well. We have a whole team of staff at the airport in the summer, so it's never an issue. So I know I have an 11-year-old daughter, so I can imagine you are concerned. But yeah, we can get that information to you if you want to get in touch with us specifically, Martinez. You have my email address there, so you can contact me directly. Feel free to ask any questions you might have. Yeah, if they travel together, they might be placed together. This is for individual students are placed individually. There's a basketball court in Alexandra College, yes. So students in Trinity Hall would also sometimes use the sports facilities in Trinity College as well. Does anybody else have any questions? I'm not sure if I've answered all the questions. Has anybody else got any questions? How many students will there be on average in each class? Yes, so students are tested and they are divided according to level. Um, Level and age. So obviously, if there's a 16, 17-year-old with an 11-year-old, that doesn't make any sense either, because even in terms of lesson contents. So they are divided firstly due to level according to level, but also according to age. Okay. The maximum in a class is 15 for the junior programs. But then at some of the lower levels and the higher levels, that number can be lower. So, and depending on when your children come as well, it may be lower. So the busiest weeks are usually the middle weeks in July. So at the start of the program and the end of the program, there may be a lot fewer in class, and then it also depends on the level. Yes, we have a full team of staff in the residence at night, so room checks are done to make sure everyone's in their bed first, and someone is always available up all night in the residence. There's a residence manager, there are duty managers, and then there's residence supervisors. So there's a full team of our staff, and then there's the resident staff. So in Alexandra College, they have a full team of security, and the same in Trinity Halls of Residence. So they have their year-round security and team on duty as well as our own staff. Okay. Jawohl. Ich kann ähm, am besten, Michele, schickst du mir ein Mail und dann kann ich auch mein Handynummer geben. Deswegen würde ich das sagen. Is there a program on Saturday, the 9th of August? Do the participants need a coin? No, it's they can use card or coin as far as I know in Alexandra College. They need neither actually. For the liquid tabs, yeah, they usually, it depends how long they're staying. So in a 2-week program, maybe they'll do laundry once, max twice. In Alexandra College, Didem, my colleague, organizes with them there to give them a tab. Um, and they use that for their washing. In Trinity College, it's slightly different. There's a laundry room, and I think now it operates on an app. Um, and our staff organise it for them actually in Trinity College. They were changing their system at the moment. Is there a program on Saturday the 9th of August? So our programs finish the weekend of the 10th of August. So there would be activities all that weekend. So full day excursions, Saturday, Sunday, yes. Yeah, last year the damage deposit was €50. This year it's actually 70. So that's our fault. That information wasn't available early enough if you were told 50. No problem. Thanks, Michaela. I'll take that. Thank you, Kiara. If is there anyone else, Mark? I can't see if anyone else has a question there.
No, I think that's it. Yeah, I can see it. Yeah. So
Um, I have left my email address there. Feel free to contact me. We will have the webinar available tomorrow for anyone who has other questions or queries. If there's anything in particular you are concerned about, feel free to contact us at the school in general, or it's easier, I know, if you have the specific email of the person you know who can help you. Um, but I would say that you could have great confidence in us. We do stand over all of our programs and make sure that our students are happy. We don't guarantee that there will never be problems because we're dealing with young people and lots of logistics with airports and trips and everything. But we do always resolve the issues and we are always present, and you can trust that we will look after your children and your students as best we can. Okay. And we've been doing this for a very long time. So, yeah. I think that's the most I could say on that. Okay. I don't think anyone has any more questions. Um, if everyone is happy, we might finish there. Like I said, feel free to contact us afterwards. Um, More than happy to answer any questions. I will reach out to the few of you who asked me to get in touch with you and look after you specifically. But for the moment, we might just leave it there if nobody has any further questions. Thank you, everybody, for joining us this evening for our junior pre-arrival webinar. Thank you for your time and your attention and for joining us on what I imagine is a busy evening for everybody. So thank you very much. Okay, take care.